Innovation and Digital Economy, Tijani Bosun, has attributed the recent 50% rise in telecommunications tariffs to global inflation and increasing operational expenses. During a stakeholders meeting in the communication sector held on Monday, a decision was made to approve a 50% increase in tariffs for calls and data services. Now, while addressing the joint committees on communication, the minister noted that this decision is consistent with wider economic trends where tariff increases can result in higher consumer prices due to the additional costs associated with imported goods. In remarks to journalists shortly after presenting his ministry's budget of 12 billion naira for this year, Bosun emphasized that the 50% adjustment reflects broader economic patterns.
Well, I think the hike is also based on inflation globally. This is a sector that has not increased price for a long time. In fact, what government has been doing is managing the situation. The companies have been crying out for a long time that they're struggling. The cost of diesel, you can imagine how much they bought diesel last year and how much it's going for this year. And this is not a problem that is unique to Nigeria. But what we've done with them is saying that telecommunication services are now extremely important to our people. So it's not something you can just increase price haphazardly. But also, how do we support them to ensure that these companies continue to stay sustainable? This is a sector that employs about 15,000 people directly, the employees of these MNOs. But also indirectly, I think there's about 500,000 people working in the sector, whether those that are selling recharge cards or any of those services. We have to make sure that the sector continues to stay sustainable. But at the same time, we don't want to inflict pain on Nigerians. So they were claiming for 100% increase in tariff. I think, as you can see from what NCC released yesterday, we had a lot of back and forth. They've been talking about since even before we were appointed. The first time I met them almost 16, 17 months ago, it was the same thing they were talking about. But now I think we've set it at about 50% to ensure that they can find ways to stay sustainable, but also the price hike is not significant to the point where it becomes painful for our people.
He further explained that the federal government is planning to invest 6 billion naira to deploy 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, expanding the country's capacity from 35,000 kilometers to 125,000. Now, during the 2025 budget defense session, the minister said the planned deployment of fiber optic cable is an initiative aimed at fostering growth in critical communication sectors.
We've worked hard internally as professionals and political appointees, also with the support of the committee chairs, to secure the commitment of the World Bank, AFDB, and a number of other DFIs to help us invest in a $2 billion project that will lay 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables across this country. And our hope is that this will not just provide opportunities for existing MNOs. This will help us create new small businesses that will be responsible for laying 90,000 kilometers of fiber network. This will help us create nothing less than 10,000 jobs of young men and women that will drive the deployment of this cable all over our country. The 90,000 kilometers cable will be everywhere in the country. This is the plan that has been made by the broadband plan.
Hello, hope you enjoyed the news. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified about fresh news updates.